There once was a small suburb called Hartfield. It is not wealthy. The sidewalks are uneven. Some storefronts are empty. But it has a library, a handful of public parks, a small shopping mall, and parents who want a better life for their children. The families here are working families. They care about their children. They talk about school the way people talk about the weather, constantly, and with the knowledge that it affects everything. Within one city block of each other, 2 schools serve these families. Eastfield Elementary is the larger one and the older one. The school has a full-time counselor, a part-time social worker, 3 reading specialists, and a family newsletter that goes home every other Friday. Framed near the front entrance is its mission statement: to support our students' unique needs and foster a resilient community for all. The other school is St. James Academy, located 1 block west. It is smaller and quieter. Its students wear uniforms, navy pants or skirts with white shirts. It has a parking lot that doubles as a basketball court after school and on weekends. Its own framed mission statement near its front office displays, "To enable those who want to learn to learn." Both schools are very similar on the surface. Their differences live not on their campus or on their budgets, but rather on what each school believes it is there to do, and what each school defines as success. In October, Principal Warren stays late on a Wednesday to work through Eastville's annual needs assessment. It is a serious document, 80 pages, prepared with help from a district consultant, and the case it makes is true. The document catalogs what her students carry into school every morning: poverty, housing instability, food insecurity, trauma from things children should not have to know about yet. Warren knows all of it. She has spent 22 years at this school. She knows the name of every child in every classroom, and usually something about where they live and what is happening at home. Warren is not a bureaucrat. She is a person who has organized her professional life around the belief that these children deserve more than they have been given, and she has spent 2 decades trying to get it for them. The question she asks of herself and of the school as she prepares the document is, are we helping enough? She uses the need assessment to write grant applications: more counselors, more reading interventions, more mental health support. Every line of her argument is accurate. Every request is justified. These children carry burdens that most people can't even imagine. Our job is to meet them where they are. She has said at more school board meetings than she can count. She believes this. The document is 80 pages long, and yet none of those pages asks, what are our results? Warren does not notice this omission. The question she has been asked to answer, by the grants, by the board, by the needs assessment itself, is whether the need is real and whether the school is responding to it. The need is always real, and the school is always responding. 1 block away, on the same Wednesday evening, Principal Chen from St. James is working through a different set of papers. His are shorter, 12 pages, single-spaced, showing last year's learning outcomes by student, by subject, by teacher. Where results fell short, he wants to know what happened. Where they exceeded expectations, he wants to know why, and whether or not it can be replicated. The question he asks of every page is simple. Did the students learn? Not did we try hard enough? Not did they have adequate support, but rather, did they learn? Meeting them where they are is just the beginning. It's not the end. Our job is to move them from where they are now to where they can go. He tells new teachers on their first day. Chen has been doing this for 16 years. It has not made the work easier, but it has made the work clearer. Both principals care about the children. Both are working late for the same reasons. The difference between them is not commitment or compassion. It is the question each one asks at the end of the school year about what was accomplished. Jordan is 8 years old when the school year starts at Eastfield. Bright, a little shy, fond of drawing, and not fond of sitting still. He's behind in reading, not severely, not in a way that would alarm most teachers at first glance, but behind nonetheless. he's roughly a whole grade level behind, maybe even a little more. Eastfield's response is prompt and careful. Within the first month, Jordan has been assessed, documented, and placed in a Tier 2 reading group that meets Monday, Wednesday, and Friday mornings. The sessions run roughly 25 minutes and pulls Jordan out of general classroom instruction. The paperwork is thorough. The process is efficient, exactly what it is supposed to be. Mr. Okafor is Jordan's homeroom teacher. He is 34 in his 8th year at Eastfield. He came into this work because he believed it could change the lives of children who needed someone to believe in them. He still believes this. He has a gift for noticing when a child is struggling before the child says anything. Something in how they hold a pencil, or how they look at a page, or how they answer a question with another question when they don't quite understand. He noticed Jordan in the first week. Okafor stays late twice a week to work with students who need extra time. Jordan is one of them. Okafor brings in supplementary reading materials he found and paid for himself. He fills out the intervention logs the way a person fills them out when they actually intend to use them. At the end of the school year, Okafor writes in Jordan's progress report. Jordan is progressing in reading group, showing resilience, works hard. Will continue to provide support in the coming year. And yet, Jordan is still not reading at grade level. Therefore, the care will continue. The question of whether any of it is working in the specific sense that Jordan can actually pick up a book and read it, has not been asked in any meeting Okafor has attended this year. Another year passes. A neighbor has been telling Jordan's mother, Diane, about St. James and her child's improvement in the past 2 years. Diane resists at first, the commute, the uniform, the unfamiliarity. But watching Jordan struggle has made her begin to worry about his future, until finally a desire for change outweighed the inconvenience. Diane submits all the required paperwork after her shift, and Jordan is accepted. The first thing Jordan notices is not the uniforms nor the size of the classrooms. It is that no one here seems to know about intervention groups. Miss Reeves, Jordan's new homeroom teacher, has read his transfer file. She knows that Jordan has been behind in reading, but when she takes a minute to speak with Jordan privately before the day, she does not mention any of this. Instead, she says, "Here is what we are working on this week. And this is what I will need you to do." The assumption in the room is that Jordan is here to learn, not to be supported or monitored or carefully managed, but to learn. Within 2 weeks, Miss Reeves has a clear picture. Jordan is behind in reading because he has gaps in phonics and it's frustrating him. She notes this precisely. She adjusts her instruction, not Jordan's designation, but her own approach by implementing a structured approach for all letter sounds, adding rhymes to make it easier. If what she tries does not move Jordan forward, she tries something else. She is not asking herself what Jordan needs in terms of support, but rather she is asking herself, how can I teach this material in a way that Jordan can actually follow? By the end of the school year, Jordan is finally reading at grade level. Not because St. James has more resources, in fact, it has fewer. Not because Miss Reeves cares more about Jordan than Mr. Okafor did. She does not. Okafor spent more hours with Jordan and thought about Jordan just as often, if not more. The difference is this. Miss Reeves works in a school that has defined its job as teaching Jordan, not helping Jordan, not supporting Jordan, but teaching Jordan. And every structure in the school, the planned meetings, the way teachers are evaluated, the questions that get asked when something is not working, flows from that definition. Jordan learned to read because the institution Miss Reeves worked in had decided long ago what it was actually there to do. On a Thursday afternoon in February, Eastfield's instructional staff gathers together in the school library. 11 teachers, a reading specialist, the school counselor, and Principal Warren. The tables are arranged in a large rectangle. Someone has put a tray of granola bars in the middle. Most of the meeting is intervention updates. Each teacher goes through their Tier 2 and Tier 3 students. How many sessions completed this month? Which students have been referred for additional evaluation? The conversation is detailed. The people are genuinely paying attention. No one is just going through the motions. But what is not on the agenda, what Okafor has noticed is rarely on any agenda, is a direct review of the institution's results. Did the students get better at reading? If not, why not? And what can we change? Nobody knows. The focus has been on if there are enough support programs, not if they are working. Near the end of the meeting, Okafor raises his hand. I have had the same 3 students in my Tier 2 reading group for about 2 years now. Now, these students are completing every session, they're doing everything we're asking them, but they're not making progress. I keep thinking to myself, should we be looking at how we're teaching them and not just whether or not they're attending support programs? The room receives this carefully. Several teachers nod. It is a fair question and everyone can see this. Warren says she thinks a curriculum review would be worthwhile and that she'll look into what is available at the district level. She thanks Okafor for raising this question. Then the meeting moves on to the next agenda item. Okafor drives home that evening with the feeling that he has asked the right question in the wrong room. There is no meeting, no metric, no process designed to act upon what he has asked. The question has landed on deaf ears. The organization was not designed to address this problem. Okafor still cares. He cares enough to stay late, to buy his own materials, to raise uncomfortable questions in staff meetings. But what the school rewards is completion, sessions held, forms filled, programs delivered. The caring Okafor brings to his work is real, but the organization has no mechanism to deliver the results he cares about the most: students who can read. I think this is a good place to pause for this week's story. Tune in next week for Behind the Scenes Insight at St. James Academy. We'll also be covering the impact on the children of the neighborhood, why your mission defines your results, and the moral of this story. The conclusion to A Tale of Two Schools awaits. I'll see you next week.